Listen, it says in the Gemara that a lot of people did like Rabbi Shimon, velo al tabiyadam. A lot of people try to do like the level of Rabbi Shimon, like to live with and they weren't able to succeed, because it's hand in hand with your emunah. But the point is, with your emunah and your bechira. So if it says in the Gemara, in Megillah and Brachot, if it says that everything's in the hands of heaven besides Yirat Shamayim, so why are we constantly praying for this Yirat Shamayim? We should sort of transform, and we should become people that have more emunah and strength. Like, why is that? How does that work? So he says because you can't come to that level of being disgusted by Ra, v'livchor betov, and to choose good, v'lavo l'mash tzarich adam lavo b'zeh olam, and to come to your goals, that whatever the true goals that a Jew should reach while he's in this world, al yedei bechiroto, from your free will alone, you can't do it just from your free will alone. Ki im al yedei sheyarbe b'tfilot v'tachnunim, unless you put time into praying to Hashem, v'sichot bein lebein kona, and speech, just from your speech, your individual speech between you and the Master of the Universe, harbe me'od l'Hashem yitzbarach, right? Sessions upon sessions, right? That you spoke to Hashem about this, you begged for this, that this became more important to you. From this, then there's a path to come back to Hashem. So ikar hatfila, he says, this is the main culmination, right, aspect of prayer, of tefillah. Ki al zot yitzpalel kol chasid elecha. This is what every chasid prays before you. Le'et matzo rak leshetef mayim rabim elav lo yagiu. It's a pasuk from Tehillim that the waters shouldn't wash you away. What does that mean? Shelo yishtafu shetef mayim rabim hazedonim. That all this like putrid waters shouldn't wash you away. What is this putrid waters? Shehem teuvtin bishin dahai alma, which is referring to the temptations, the bad temptations of this world. They shouldn't wash a person away. They shouldn't phase a person's soul. Right? Because these are waves that are constantly hitting a person while we're here in this world. But Rabbeinu saw before Mashiach comes, it's going to get crazier and crazier and crazier. Rebbe Nachman said, clearly we saw that Rabbi Nachman is speaking for a different generation. He's speaking for for us. They didn't have what we had, Lamaisa. I remember Nachman saying, these tests and all these tests in impurity and shmir tabrit and this, they didn't have all these gadgets we have these days, So Rebbe Nachman said clearly, it was obvious by him. He didn't know, but he said it's obvious that he's speaking for some generation. He's speaking for our generation. Right? It's clear, right? Still to this day, you have guys. I don't know if you hear these stories, but guys all of a sudden in prison, they pick up a little Breslov sefer, and then years later, you see him in Uman with long pants and tattoos, and you can tell by the tattoos in the mikveh, this guy was hardcore, That's how. Why do you have that? My Rav told Rav Moshe Bean told me. He said a guy, he ran out of the mikveh. All of a sudden, he says he's got a towel around him. He's got payas thick tree trunks down to his waist, and tattoos here and here, and he's running. He's lechvot Shabbat. Where do you have such a scene like that? My gosh, that's amazing. It's just it's a Kodak moment, so to speak, right? Because there's a certain chizuk that that we need. Things need to be addressed. I can't just sit with a black jacket and a white shirt and yeshiva and just learn Gemara and be yeah, everything's great. No, it's not great. It's tough. There's stuff going on these days. There's the Yetzer Hara. He's trying every single angle he can to deter a Jew. So it has to be spoken about. You know what I mean? Even you should know, there's certain groups of Chassidim that they were known that Breslov was we don't go there. That these days, even when I spoke to them privately, they were listen, bottom line is that also with our kids, it's hard to control them, and we don't know what to do, and because there used to be a thing. Because Rebbe Nachman speaks about Shmirat Abrit, and he speaks about certain things, in a very open way. So it's not, our kids don't know from that stuff. And he says, but these days, teaching the kids under the table, they're on their cell phones, and we don't know how to control this anymore. So you have to, because if a person it doesn't create the positive reinforcement in the way of imagination and holiness, then God forbid the Yetzer Hara can, God forbid, use it in a way of impurity. So that's what he's saying over here. That in order to prevent yourself from all these waves of imagination of the other side of impurity, that I shouldn't be washed away from this world, Rahman al-Itzlan, I have to invest time to pray about that. So again, so it's not, it's not getting, hooked up with cash. It's not about the shidduch. It's not about the, these are all these things. These tefillot, b'makom hamunach, it has its place, and we should pray for them. It's very important. Nobody's saying not to, but to invest time in this prayer of Hashem, bring me close to you. Kojam, where am I? That's the ikr. He's saying, to remember that Inyan and to daven about that. It's an unbelievable thing. That has the most profound impact on an individual. And the more you increase with that, the more it becomes something real. Judaism becomes something dynamic, and it's a struggle. And then, I called the Rebbe of mine the other day, and I said, I had a little Yerida, and I felt like I fell on my level. And he's like, okay, Baruch Hashem, good. So you're doing good. So you're like all of us. We're in it. We're in the battle. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, And he gave me a chizuk. You should know Rabbi Maimon, guys, because he gave us a. So he said, Rabbi Maimon told me. I said, when I told him that, he said that if you go to the hospital, what's a sign if someone's alive? Like he's on a heart monitor. What's a sign that he's alive? What's the machine doing? It's going up and down. Right? If it's going up and down, it's a sign you're alive. Right? If you're just going straight, everything good. No, then that's like flatline. You're out. Hashem Merachim. You know what I mean? But if you're going ups and downs, it shows you're alive, Baruch Hashem. He wasn't, all the things I spoke to him about, that was like, what's the way up? I was like, wow, it's like, it's true. It's every Jew has ups and downs from any level. You have to know, and we have to be open to this and be aware of this. Once you're aware of this, okay, I'm okay. I'm not like a freak zombie from some other planet that like I'm so messed up. No, you're real. You're in the battle. You're in this schmutz with all of us. You know what I mean? And we're working together. We're trying to get tools to how to not be washed away from these waves and be able to be strong and to come to higher levels. Okay, so we'll stop for some questions.